everybody, Trepid Mama here. I'm a little bit late uploading a video this week because I've been working a lot and I'm feeling a little run down. My kid's got a cold, so I'm probably next on the list, I'm thinking. Anyway, I wanted to show you what we're up to around here. We've got a lot of different projects going. Today is super rainy, and it's Sunday, so I probably won't do much. It's one of my children's birthdays today. It's my 15-year-old. My son turned 15 today, and we went out to breakfast this morning, and now we're all just kind of laying around, and it's just super rainy, and we're probably not going to do much today but celebrate and kind of rest. So I wanted to show you some of the projects we're doing around here. When we did an addition to our home 2 years ago, the concrete underneath our second-story deck was not installed correctly, and so now when it rains, water comes back towards our house. So we've had to we're having to bust out the whole patio and redo it. And in the meantime, in the meantime, basically, our landscaping and my planting of certain perennial type things that I've wanted to do have been on hold because the bedding that I want to plant those in is right next to the patio. So my goal has been that anything I put in the ground, I wanted it to be medicinal or edible. And you know, I've already said before that I'm not naturally a green thumb, but I try. And I think I'm learning as I go, but I'm just really excited about getting this concrete project done so that I can then get this stuff planted and just feel done with that, feel like something's finished, and also, you know, get on with things and have my plants being established and stuff. So I'm going to show you the patio that we're in the middle of busting out. We did some improvement to the garden area this week as well. I'm super tired. We've been doing a lot. And then I'm going to show you the shed that the floor caved in, and we finished emptying it out. We've been emptying it out over several months now, just because we're busy and it was a dirty job. Anyway, so we got that all finished yesterday. So I was going to show you that, and that is a project that we're going to start working on this week, in between working on finishing busting out the patio. And everything. So we've got a lot of projects actually. We have a list of projects that we're working down, basically, is what it comes down to. And we're just trying to get it done. And we do have a friend of ours who does carpentry work for us that we pay. We just pay him to help us with different projects because, like I said, we're busy and my husband can't do everything. So he's going to help us, and my 15-year-old will work on repairing the shed. So for now, let me turn you around and show you some of the stuff that we're working on. Okay, so we've had a little difficulty getting this busted out because it's under a deck, and we have these posts. We've already we tried a jackhammer, and that took forever. We only got a little piece out, like about that much out with a jackhammer, and that took half of the day. So then we got a bobcat with a jackhammer attachment, and we got all this out. But that thing kept breaking down on us, and I don't know if it wasn't maintained correctly or what, but we had nothing but trouble with that. So then we started using saws. So I'm going to call that Plan C. So we've got some cuts in it, trying to break it up. And then of course once it was super thick, so once we broke it up, then we had to get it out of here. And this only required a 4-inch slab, but this thing was more than 6 inches. You can see definitely in some areas where we took it out over here. Super thick. So anyway, we've got guys in here shoveling it out, and as we loosen it up, we're on Plan D now, and Plan D is we're paying someone to come in here and bust this out tomorrow because it needs to get done, because we're going to have this re-poured. And basically the reason is anytime we get any rain and the water gets in over here, it all comes back towards the house. It's not good. And there was no way to fix that without about actually tearing everything out and starting over. We even installed a drain, but the person who formed this up just he did not have the right fall, obviously. You have to have a certain fall to your concrete to get your water drainage right, and it wasn't there. And so anyway, we figured that out the first winter. So we're gonna do, have someone come and finish bust this out, and then we've got 2 bids for replacing it. But what we're gonna do is, we're actually, this is my front bed. It's gonna be like a rock garden type thing where I'll have like hardier herbs like lavender and such over here. We're actually gonna install a curb right from the porch, like at the porch level all the way around here and into there, because we have a big grade change right here. And this is supposed to be a bed, which I'm hoping to plant some grape, like trellises, and plant grapes on either side of that evergreen tree. There and there. And then, so we just want to, this was a really good idea our concrete guy had, or one of them, to get a curb in here so we can bring all of the dirt up, the grade up to the same level before we plant. So that's kind of what our holdup's been, because this concrete's been a problem. So basically that's the tax refund this year. We're fixing the concrete. And then this will be like one big continuous bed in here. And we do have irrigation to it. There's a pipe over there that we fed the irrigation to. It's just not hooked up. It's on its own zone. So that's what's going on with this project. So let me show you what we did with the garden this week. Okay, I tried to zoom in. I probably showed you the garden before. It had a lot of weeds and miner's lettuce growing around it. When we first put into the garden several years ago, we put down fabric and rocks, the same rocks you see there now, the same type of rocks you see there now. But eventually weeds took root and came through, or they grow in the rocks or whatever. And miner's lettuce there's been a lot of miner's lettuce this year, which is an edible weed, right? There's some up there. You can see it. I'm trying to stick my finger there, but it's not working. Hold on. Hold on. I don't know what's going on here. There's the miner's lettuce. There's a bunch there. There's some there. There's some over there. It was all in here, and it was in this garden bed. So yesterday, that was the last garden raised bed that we had to clean out yesterday. One of my boys, my 12-year-old, went ahead and did that for me. And then a couple days ago, we actually laid over what we already had more landscape fabric and another load of rocks, a couple load of rocks. These are really nice, round, smaller rocks. I can't remember what they're called, but they're nice. If you want to go barefoot in your garden, they're okay. They're not going to scratch you up. But anyway, it just looks nice and neat, and I really like that a lot. So we did that. That silver trough over there, I just kind of felt like going and getting flowers and stuff. So I did that yesterday and planted that just so we had some spring in our lives right there. I have more plants to plant. I actually got 2 big bags of dirt, and I still need more. So those are to be planted this week. I got some more calendula. I got some marigolds, and then I got a bunch of herbs that might be a little tender to put out right now. Right now they're on the front porch. Okay, so in this box I have planted radishes and peas, and they are both coming up, but unfortunately the strawberries are coming back in this box. So I don't know if I'm just going to let them do that or not. I was supposed to plant beets here, and I never got back out here to actually plant beets, so that has not happened yet. The carrots were planted in here. We talked about that before. We showed you when we were doing that. I have yet to see a carrot come up, but the miner's lettuce is coming back, so I need to deal with that. And then nothing's planted in there yet. And we did put hoops there. They're a little taller than we wanted. We might trim them down, but I need to get some of that white fabric or something like that for that, so I can bring plants. I was going to harden my plants off in there. I don't know yet, because like I said, I'm not that experienced. I mean, I guess I'm experienced. I just haven't learned as much as I probably should have by now. And then behind that are my fruit trees. That's an apple, And I've got pear, cherry, plum. I have a couple of nectarine. They're both diseased, one more than the other. I'm probably gonna pull one of them out. The one with the pink blossoms on it, I think it's doing okay. We'll see. I think I have an Asian pear out there and one other. And then yesterday, I don't know if you can see it. I just don't want to get wet. I don't want to bring my phone out in the water. Right next to that big bin that I planted those flowers in is a pot. And in that pot is a fig tree that I picked up yesterday. It's right there behind my apple tree. And it's a beautiful fig tree. And it's supposed to be good for this climate. So I'm going to probably plant that out there in my orchard between those two. Well, you can't, it's hard to see. There's a tree there, little 3-foot tree there, and a little tree there. I'm probably going to plant it, actually I'm probably going to plant it towards the front. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. But look at all my hedges in the front, they're blooming. This is my favorite time because everything blooms, but you know, like today, super rainy. I transplanted my maline, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's that stuff that grows wild, but I had planted some and I'm growing it because it's a medicinal. It was in this pot and I transplanted it over to that bed. I also transplanted some rosemary in there because I do have water there, but that bed right there underneath my larger apple tree, that's my Fuji apple tree. I think it's Fuji. That bed right there is actually, that's on the top of my to-do list. So basically I've got part of it turned over and planted, and I'm just going to be slowly working on that as I can. I need to get the weeds out and I need to get more dirt in because at the far end of that bed, right in there, there's my finger, right in there at the far end there. I probably didn't need to do that. Now you've seen a close-up of my finger, which wasn't very helpful, but it needs more soil in there. So basically that's what's happening. And then the strawberry plants that I saved from here because they looked good, I'm actually transplanting into hanging pots and putting them in that shepherd's hook that we put in yesterday. I kind of went nuts at the garden store yesterday, but I was just like, you know, I just want to get some stuff done. And sometimes you just get tired of the obstacles in your way or waiting, and you just want to get it done. So I just like to get her done. There's John. He's in our dojo. Our dojo is our workout area, but right now it's holding a bunch of stuff because it's winter and we had to move stuff around to do projects. So he's just sitting there with our cat. That's Captain. Okay, right next to the dojo is our shed. Whoa, I almost slipped there. Okay, this is the dreaded shed. I'm gonna hold the camera inside, but me outside. Okay, so this is a completely insulated and sheetrock shed, but you can see what's happened here. We've got mold, and basically we have mold because this shed was not built to hold what we had in it, but we didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. And we probably had some earth to wood contact under there. So basically the floor rotted out. So I had big metal shelves in here that kind of tipped over towards the center. And thankfully my breakable stuff didn't break because of that. It was still holding on there. But obviously we ended up with mold in here and we ended up with rats. So if you can see, it looks like when Joe built it, Joe is the guy that helps us sometimes. It looks like it's built on the ground. There's no vapor barrier, but like I said, this was actually built to hold our wildlife traps in. It was not built to keep my stuff in. So what we're gonna do is, because it's all moldy, we're taking everything out of here. We used to have an air conditioning unit in here. It used to be, I used to have this temperature controlled in the summer, which was nice because I did have some wheat and stuff in here. So basically we're tearing everything out, all the sheetrock, ceiling, floor, everything, and we're gonna pour concrete floor in here, and then we're gonna resheet the walls with plywood. And this should never, ever, ever happen again. But that's our project. And then we had double doors on this thing, and I'm not gonna back up because I don't wanna get, I'm getting pretty soaked. We had double doors on this thing, and they weren't working too well. So we're gonna go back to like a single, like 3-foot door. It used to have a roll-up door, but we took it to use for the project. So, well, okay, well that was not good. I just misstepped and kind of fell through the floor a little bit, so. Okay, it's trying to tell me that my cloud is full or it's getting full, so I don't know how much longer I have. Honestly, I am not very good about iPhone hygiene. I have trouble getting my pictures off and it just wherever it needs to be and whatever. I'm not as techy as people think I am. So anyway, I don't know if this happens to you with your first aid stuff, but I have like certain first aid stuff in the house and certain first aid stuff in the car and certain first aid stuff in the camping and other overflow stuff in the shed. And I guess I'm trying to figure out what I should be keeping in the house and what can go into the shed. So anyway, like, yeah, I probably don't need trauma stuff in the house, but I don't know. So how do you guys break up your first aid storage like that? Or maybe you guys, I know Modern Refugee has like a trauma bag and a regular first aid bag, and that's great. Those are big though, and I like carry like smaller stuff and different things for everything. You know what, honestly, I am not a simple person. I complicate everything. So leave a comment and tell me how you organize your first aid stuff. And also, I've got a couple video ideas. I actually have a whole list, but here's what I'm looking at doing soon. I would like to do video on networking and expanding your personal network of people and resources and the importance of that and maybe how to go about doing it. I have a video idea on basically shelf-stable superfoods. I wanted to talk about magnesium, and there's probably some other things on my list that I have with me. So feel free to leave a comment below to tell me what exactly or which one of those you'd like to hear about first. Oh, I was also going to talk about alternative grains. That's an important one too, especially for people who have wheat or gluten intolerances or issues. So that's another one. So anyway, those are basically the ideas I have for videos for the next several weeks. I was also going to just take you along with what we're doing. Let me know if you like that kind of video. It's spring. There's going to be a lot going on. I have a lot of different projects going. I'm not personally working on all of them. My husband's working on some. My boys are working on some. We're paying someone to do some of it. So just like I said, I'm not simple. There's nothing simple about my life. Nothing's cut and dry here. We were planning to do another home edition next year in 2020 we need to blow out our dining room. Our dining room's too small for our family as it stands. That's without children getting married and having children and without my parents even visiting. Basically with my family that I have at home now, I have 5 children at home now, but I have 7 children total. There's no seat for me at the table, basically, is what it comes down to when everyone's here. So we're going to blow that out. That was part of our original plan for our addition, but we didn't have enough money to do it all at the same time. So we did the important part, which was the bedrooms and everything. But now we need to do the dining room. It needs to be bigger. And it's not that costly of a job. It's just something that is going to be inconvenient. So my husband told me yesterday, because it's never boring living with my husband. It's always exciting and there's always something going on. I think we can do that this year. And I said, oh, okay, I better start a Pinterest board or something, right? So that means I just have decisions to make. But if we end up doing that, I would love to show you guys what we're doing. And I know that's not prepping, whatever, but it's part of life and it's part of my life as a prepper. So if you want to see that, or would you like me to vlog about that, I'd be happy to. That would be fun, and I can do that. But let me know in the comments. And also, if you're new here, I'm Prepping Mama. Welcome to my channel, and I would love to have you subscribe and join me. I am not a professional camera videographer, nothing like that. I'm just a mom of 7 who preps. I have always been interested in preparedness. It's just that and office supplies. I don't know what it is, but I like preparedness. I like organization more than I'm able to be organized. It's a constant challenge for me, but I just keep working on it. I just keep plugging away at it as I am able. We have special needs kids. We have kids with autoimmune diseases, and we have kids with food intolerances, and some of those are all the same kids. but that's what we've got going on. I have autoimmune stuff, so I'm prepping with those things in mind, and I would love to have you join us and just see how my family of 9 preps with those issues in mind, and just kind of join us and be part of our journey in what we do, right? And everyone preps differently, and everyone lives differently, and I just think it's fun to watch other families and see what they do and get ideas. So anyway, welcome. If you're back again, thanks for coming back, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell, and I will see you next time. I'm just going to real quick show you my seedlings that I started in the house. And I started them a la Roots and Refuge, but I chose blue solo cups instead of red. And I have them sitting in a clean out tray. This is what we call a clean out tray. I don't know what everyone else calls it, but basically when we clean out under houses because of what we do for a living. We use these. My husband got me a new one. I put them in here, and the reason they're in this is because my disabled daughter walks around with her elbows out all the time, and I didn't want her knocking any over. So they're here by the front window in this for now, and they're looking pretty healthy. I'm pretty excited, and I've got a little bit of everything here. All right, I'll catch you guys next time.